Another edition of the Pick and Downs podcast. I am your host, per usual, Sean Tyson, here with Zoo and P. Bush. How you fellas doing?
Doing all right, man. It was a whirlwind of a fantasy football weekend. I texted you, man. If anyone was watching that Cardinals-Panthers game, man, that game-winning sack put me over the edge, won by half a point. Couldn't believe it. Unbelievable. That's probably one of the craziest ways I've won a fantasy football game is on a game-ending sack.
Yeah,
for the Cardinals defense, man. But man, I will say Vegas had put the call in, man, for anytime touchdown scores this weekend. Let me tell you, man. Blake Corum stealing from Kyron Williams, Tyler Algier stealing from Bijan Robinson, and Rashad White stealing from.
Oh, he looks pretty good.
After
he looked pretty good.
He looked good.
He
But
looked
Bucky's having a hell of a drive. You know, I don't know why his shoulder pad got messed up. That's why he got pulled from the game. I couldn't believe it. They had to take him out.
Right.
But 3-1, I'll take it. We're not even going to talk about the Bears, the loss to the Lions. I know we're going to discuss the Bears a little bit, but man, it is what it is, man. The Bears will bear. That's why you don't get your hopes up.
Yeah, not going to lie. I made a futures bet on Caleb Williams. I'm feeling that pain of regret. I feel like I made the same mistake 2 years in a row. I've been always an anti-Bears better in the last decade. I would say I always bet against them.
Plus.
Yeah. So, but now I got kind of bullish with Caleb, number one pick, and then Ben Johnson, new coach. It just looks like the same old Bears. So, like my future's kind of looking kind of horrific right now. But this week of fantasy football is a beautiful 3-1 week, and it's one of those undeserved 3-1. Like my teams were kind of mid, but the other team was a little more mid. So I got away with some victories, if you know what I mean, aka lucky W. So I had to make some transactions to upgrade the roster. So I know where my team stands, and I'm going for that Super Bowl championship. So, like, being 2-0, like, I'm not satisfied with this 2-0. I want to be annihilating people like points against number one high score. I wasn't doing that, so my roster had to make some adjustments. So, yeah, but it's exciting. It's exciting right now, even when you get those lucky wins. But if you got lucky, you gotta capitalize, make some adjustments to make your roster better.
Absolutely.
As long as you get out in the first 2 weeks, like you said, not 0, possibly looking at 0-3 or 0-2.
Is the best.
As long as you're splitting or you have a 0 in your column, you're good to go. Because normally the law of averages are in your favor of you possibly get on a run to the playoffs. So I kind of see it that way myself. And, fantasy is all about the trades. We were talking about it earlier. And I would say whoever's watching this podcast that traded with Zoo, I think you got. I think you got. But, we'll see. The season will play out, and we'll see how that goes. So, getting into the NFL season, people kind of alluded to it, talking about the Bears and also the Chiefs starting 0-2. I think a lot of, people kind of were looking preseasons, looking at, the Bears more of a dark horse, and the Chiefs being like, okay, last year I know they got blown out in the Super Bowl, but they were at the Super Bowl and they're going to continue their ways, even with the guys being missing from the roster. So I kind of wanted to poll the guys and see which situation seems a little bit more dire, the Bears or the Chiefs. And people, you can go ahead and take this one.
Man, I mean, you guys, I'm not going to say the Bears, and there's a reason. Yeah. I think it's just expectations, right? I mean, it's the Chiefs, man. They're Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes dynasty. On the Bears side, look, some people had them going far. I told you guys, man, I would be happy with a 9-8 season. That was my, okay, solid. If they got 10 wins, I would have been very happy with that.
Great, man. You're going 10 wins.
And it's a difficult schedule. They do not have an easy one to start and end it. But, I think it's once again, I mean, you got to look back at a lot of first-year head coaches with young quarterbacks. They don't do that well. I mean, Jared Goff made the Super Bowl in LA, and then he goes to play with Ben Johnson in Detroit, and he struggled to start, right? They weren't clicking right off the bat. Now, if you as a Bears fan had in your head that it was going to click right away, well, then that was on you. That's not on them for not executing right away. I thought Rome Odunze's looked really good.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of injuries on the defensive side of the ball. Sadly, I mean, they were very banged up against the Vikings, and then they got two key guys back in Jalen Johnson and TJ Edwards, and they both got re-injured in the game against the Detroit Lions. Jalen Johnson likely out for the season. So top five, top 7 cornerback in the league, just gone for the year with a groin surgery. So, I would put a lot of their season on Dennis Allen. I know he's dealt with injuries, but it's 2 games in. If I'm the Bears, I'm not panicking because I wasn't expecting to make a Super Bowl run this year. Maybe they were, and that's delusional. But if you're a Bears fan and you were thinking like that, come on, pump the brakes. 1, we know how this organization is run. 2, you can't expect everything to work just completely flawless. right off the bat with a new coach coming in with a guy that he did not draft. The Bears' MO right there, man.
That's a key point.
With quarterbacks they did not draft. But if there is one that I'd like to see play out, it is this pairing. So I'm not as concerned with them in the long run. Sure, this season you can panic, but it is what it is. On the Chiefs side, though, man, I mean, you're Chiefs Invitational, man. I know, the regression to the mean on close games. Let me tell you, this is what happened. Not lucky. They're a great football team, but there is an amount of luck when you win that many one-possession games in a season, and you keep it going through making the Super Bowl. They're not going to be a 9-win team. They will rebound. They don't have an easy schedule, and their division is no longer a cakewalk.
I give you that.
The Chargers look legitimate. I might talk about them a little bit later. The Broncos they still have a good defense. I know Daniel Jones looked decent against them.
He was awesome.
You still got to respect that team. And the Raiders, they'll have a couple fluke offensive games just with the weapons that they have. Will they beat the Chiefs? Probably not, but they will tire them out, give them a tough game. So, and then you look at who else they have to play, man. They got to go against the Bills, Ravens. I have the rest of their schedule up here, man. It is not easy. But yeah, man, Giants, Ravens, Jags, Lions, that's their next 4 games. They need to be 3-3 at least by the time Rashee Rice comes back against the Raiders in week 7. That is a big miss as of right now, especially with Xavier Worthy also being out. Hollywood Brown had a nice first game, but just got absolutely draped against the Eagles and couldn't get anything done. And man, this is the end of their window, their current window. Okay, Travis Kelce, he's still doing a little bit, man. Chris Jones,
I gave you that last year. Yep.
Both aging, both extremely aging. Now, Chris Jones is still going to be a game wrecker. He's an unbelievable defensive player, but can he do it all season? Can they stay healthy? I believe in Andy Reid and I believe in Patrick Mahomes, man, but you can only win so many games when you're forcing Mahomes to scramble that often.
He's running too much,
Running a lot. And that's the only way because he can't – no one's getting open. Juju Smith-Schuster, he's washed, man. Hollywood Brown, we know exactly what he is.
Pacheco
looks washed. It's honestly super unfortunate to see a guy go down broken legs, man, and just severe knee injury. Yeah. It's super hard, and maybe he will. Maybe he'll come back next year and he'll be a little bit better. I don't know. But Kareem Hunt doesn't give me anything to get excited about, and their offensive line clearly has a few holes that they really haven't addressed. I'm panicking if I'm them. Just looking at who they have to face. Yes, Joe Burrow might be out, so that clears kind of one potential contender that could get in their way. But the Ravens and Bills are looking good. You have to be 100% on your game, fully healthy through all 17 games and into the playoffs. Their Kizu for years has been getting that bye. And right now they dug themselves in a hole that they are not looking very good. It's a long season. I get it, 15 more games. But it's not like the Bills are just going to completely flop barring major injury, and same with the Ravens. So they need that bye. I think it gives them a huge advantage. The invitational, as you like to say. If they got to go to Buffalo, man, they did it once before. I know. Okay. Skin of their teeth, man. They won that game. So, it is what it is. I know they're 0-2 and they'll bounce back, but I am concerned if I'm a Chiefs fan.
Okay, I'm not at all, but I'm going to start with your Bears right now because, Sean, you mentioned dark horse. More of a dead horse right now, man. The Chicago Bears team, having a little hope with the new coach, getting a little excited with the weapons, the rookie tight end, a ghost, Casper the Ghost. I see Tyler Warren over there just looking at an absolute stud and a possession guy. He's like a safety net for him. And I see Colston Love. I'm like, is that Colston Love? I don't see nobody for him. He's kind of invisible for a first round pick. Yeah, they really haven't used him, man. I don't really know if it's his fault or Caleb's fault. It might be a combination of coaching or scheme. Whatever. But scheme. He just kind of seem non-existent in this offense right now against the Detroit Lions team in week 1 when they played a real contender, aka the Green Bay Packers. We're all very bullish on the Green Bay Packers. They got sunned. They got embarrassed. And then you play this Bears team and they went absolutely nuclear. They dropped a 50 ball on them. They more than doubled them. It was one of the most embarrassing games I've ever watched. Because watching that game, I'm just like,
defensively
already? Jesus. And the cornerbacks, I know you mentioned the injuries, obviously, because Johnson's he's a big time defender, but the Sun guy just every single time
one-on-one coverage,
just cooking them. Like Sun God got 3 touchdowns. Jameson Williams with the deep bomb as he does. But like everybody was eating. Monty was eating. Gibbs was eating. Like it felt like last year's Detroit Lions team, and the team to bring them back from last year was the Chicago Bears defense. And not only is the defense looking embarrassing, the offense is a struggle to watch sometimes. Like Caleb Williams is supposed to be taking that step, right? Where last year, okay, we blamed the coaching. The coaching was incompetent. The dude got fired. Dude's a defensive coach. Like he's a coordinator. That's his role in the NFL. We're bringing an offensive mind thinking like, okay, this could elevate Caleb Williams. Like he doesn't look awful, but he doesn't look good. Like 19 for 30 for 207 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, QBR of 43 against the Detroit Lions team where this is a divisional rival type matchup. And I'm just not seeing much. Like shout out to your boy Rome Odunze because he's getting open a lot and he's making some like difficult catches. Like he's showing why he was a first round receiver last year, why everybody in the draft was like very bullish on Rome Odunze as a potential receiver 1 in the NFL. But from Caleb Williams, of this guy as being the number 1 overall pick, where this guy's supposed to carry your franchise, like they have given him some help with the offensive line. They have given him some weapons. They bringing in a coach that's offensive minded, but he just still looks.
I can explain to you why.
A guy. He just looks like a guy, just a guy right now.
There's Zoo. Look at the amount of. I'm pretty sure there was a stat. It was like 2nd and 3rd and 20 or longer. They had 6 of those penalties. It's discipline. I think Caleb's been fine. I think he's actually looked better than last year. Yeah, he missed some blatant.
Yeah, last year he was kind of bad.
Bad. Yeah. Agreed. Yeah. Like he's actually looking through his options. He's checking down more. It's the penalties and the defense is atrocious, right? They have no pass rush. I think it does speak to how good the Packers are, though. I think that's something.
We all agree that the Packers are potential contenders,
exactly.
Especially with Micah Parsons on the roster.
It's the penalties, man, and that's honestly got to infuriate Ben Johnson. I think that's what he's the most pissed off about is effort, discipline.
Yeah, because that's just football IQ right there. Obviously, the young team right now, they're still learning, and obviously it's a new system, so it usually takes guys to learn a system more than 1 year, I would say. So obviously, right now, these are the growing pains right now. But I knew there were going to be some growing pains, but this is painful. Like losing by 30 to a divisional rival where you're like, we going for 9 wins, maybe 10 wins if lucky, 8 wins as a 4 amount of wins this year. Based on this performance, like I don't even know anymore because they just don't look good offensively or defensively. Like what are they actually good at? And especially now with the injuries too right now. Like the injuries obviously gonna affect the defense substantially more right now. So yeah, they're a dead horse. They might be fighting for a top 10 pick right now.
Agreed, but that's not that crazy. The Chiefs haven't been 0 in 7 years.
Well, if your line is expectations, and the answer is the Chiefs,
right?
But I think the Bears did have a pretty massive expectation because of what Zoo brought up about the coach. Like I think everyone thought the coach coming in was going to.
People had him as coach of the year. Like he was a top 3 candidate coming into the year.
It's hype.
And I think that's where the Bears' newfound, I wouldn't say like historically their expectations there, but their newfound expectations was all of the hoopla, like you said, the hype with the coach. And then you have also the players that they drafted. Like, it's not a situation where I've always yelled about with Lamar, like, who's been his best offensive weapon since he's been in Baltimore? Like, it's been Mark Andrews, which is the tight end, and then maybe Zay Flowers, and then DeAndre Hopkins is having a resurgence. I'm mad I didn't get him off freaking waivers.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell? But
Chiefs needed
it's
that.
like, so it's just kind of like that type of thing where now Lamar is also a way better quarterback than Caleb. What I'm saying is, it's just why the expectations, some would argue, it's a little bit higher. Not as high as the Chiefs because they're in the Super Bowl, but it's higher for the Bears because of all the alignment. I just think, for me, I kind of look at it more so with the Chiefs just because of, to your point, people, I look at the expectations of, it's not only that it's not just the playoffs with the Chiefs, is we get to the playoffs, we get the bye, and then we go to the Super Bowl. Like, that's the expectation. So that is looking, if we're talking about comparison, I don't know if that's possible based on that schedule. And also, if you look at, there's really not a lot of like explosive players on the Chiefs. Like I know Rashid is going to be coming back, but like he's not what you say is like how you would look at a Tyreek or like a prime Kelsey. Like Kelsey is still good, but like Sky Moore was like a guy that couldn't do nothing for him. I'm not big on Xavier Worthy. Like I said, their backs are kind of just So a lot of this has been kind of, I guess, geared towards their defense with like Chris Jones and Trey, all those guys. And, it's fine. Like I said, they did shut down Jalen Hurts and Eagles defense. But I mean, you go back on the other end, it's like the offense kind of got some points late, but that score was 20-10 or whatever it was. That was kind of what the score was for the game. So if I'm a Chiefs fan, I'm kind of looking at, even when Rashid comes back, there's still going to be an acclimation period. So it may take a game or two. And then now you're looking at, like I said, Pacheco does not look the same. Kareem Hunt's not going to save anybody. Kelsey's fine. He's playing okay. But, I mean, he had a crucial drop where it's like he's not really doing that stuff. And, two, the fact there's like, oh, yeah, I just ran a wrong route and Xavier's hurt now. It's like, what? How long you been in the league? Like, what are you talking about? Like, I know stuff gets mixed up, but, like, you injured a key player on your team that needs the reps to get better. So I'm looking at that situation like, I don't know, man. Like, am I saying they're going to miss the playoffs? No, but it would not shock me if they're like 2-4 because that schedule's tough.
Dude, they got to play the Ravens and the Lions in the next two.
I don't think that's two guaranteed. Those two, I don't know what the games are, but I don't think those are two guaranteed wins. So then now, how many losses is that? 4 losses. So then who are the other two teams? Like
Giants and Jags.
Giants.
Win both.
Like Jags, I could see that. Yeah, and then Giants,
Jags look awful.
But I'm saying they got to split the Ravens Lions. They have to be 3-3 by the time he comes back.
And I don't know. Maybe they have the Jags and Giants at home, but who knows? Like I said, the Giants could maybe scare them because the Giants are not a bad team. Like their defense.
I give you this: if they lose to the Giants, I'm nervous. I'm nervous, especially after losing to, and they were trying especially against the Eagles. They were giving their A+ effort, as you mentioned. Mahomes running, like he doesn't do that until the playoffs, but he knew how crucial this game was. Like going down 0-2 is definitely a deficit. Making to the playoffs,
and that's scary too.
And they went all out.
That's
and
an injury
still going to get it done.
Happen.
And Sean, that I know the Eagles defensive line. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's so good, man." They got Jalen Carter. All right, Giants have 3 dudes that are at that same level.
Can kick up.
Okay, I give you that, but Dak Prescott dropped the 40 burger.
It's a division.
That's all I gotta say.
That's the throw into
Jalen Carter didn't
throw into 2 stud wide receivers and a much better tight end this year. He's got way more weapons and a better.
Mahomes ain't got those weapons yet at all.
He has better weapons across the board than the Chiefs without Rashee Rice. Across the board, George
at every position, running back, receiver, tight end. Oh no, I would say Kelsey's better than Ferguson, but
no. Ferguson, I have Ferguson better than Kelsey.
I can't go that far.
Okay, let's slow it down. Okay, let's slow it down. Give you the receiver weapons, but Kelsey has a possession.
If it's close, it's close. It's not a gap.
What 5 catches this year?
Kelsey?
Yeah.
I don't know how many catches he got, but I'm just saying if I had to pick
6
in a
catches,
phone
but he got a tutty. He got Tony.
Ferguson
he got 6 receptions. He's still a very productive tight end.
He's solid, but Ferguson's so far playing better this year.
Yeah, this year. Okay, yeah.
I'm only talking about this year. That's all that's relevant.
Yeah, and also too, I think if I had to comment on the Bears, I saw a Twitter thread, so take it for what it's worth. But I saw a thread of the classic Twitter profile where it's like a whatever logo in the AV or whatever, and then they're just spitting a bunch of rumors or whatever. But somebody was bringing up the point where, and it was an extension of, I didn't go to see what the top topic was, but it's like an extension of people just spitballing stuff. And it's like part of the whole thing with Caleb and Ben Johnson is just Caleb still struggles, which he had. This was an issue they talked about in college. Is he doesn't like to play on rhythm. He's more of a freestyle quarterback, and I think he gets a lot of that from. Or not even just him. I think a lot of quarterbacks that are growing up now, they're looking at Mahomes as like he thinks he's just this freestyle arm angle, not playing within the offense. Which he makes it look that way, but I don't think Mahomes is doing that all the time. Now he can do that, but I think 90% of the time Mahomes is playing his own rhythm. So Caleb kind of has a lot of that to his game, and Ben Johnson is I gotta have a guy that's on time. It's the same thing with like Sean Payton and Bo Nix. Like people are like, why did he get Bo Nix, and why didn't he trade for whoever else? It's like, well, Bo Nix is limited. He's going to play on time, and he's going to play within the offense. And most coordinators like that about their quarterbacks. They want them to play on time. So they were talking about like how they gave your boy Tyson Bagent that extension. And it was like they gave him that is because they liked how he looked in all the preseason, I guess, summer workouts, because he plays on time and plays the way they're doing. Like, I don't think there is ever a scenario, because quick aside, like they're talking about Arch right now. He's looked really bad. And a lot of it is sometimes you kind of gotta. They say sometimes you got to be benched to see it from the field and be like, okay, I can kind of visualize what I'm doing. But a lot of people are like, well, why would you bench a guy because that may kill his confidence? And I heard a former quarterback go into a podcast and he was talking about how like, well, I got benched and it was like I came back and I played better and I inspired my teammates. And it's kind of like, man, if you can't handle getting benched at any level, you're not built to be a quarterback for the Chicago Bears or you're not built to be a quarterback for the 49ers. Like, I don't know if it's still early, so I'm not saying that, but if it still progressively gets worse, he might have to take a break.
Yeah.
And like maybe see it. And if Tyson gets in there, because
injured, JJ McCarthy style.
And it's like, it's Tyson, if they give him that extension, maybe he likes that Tyson. He's obviously not as talented, but a lot of these guys, if you have like, because Chicago is one of the few places in the league where you have a plethora of weapons. So if you have a quarterback doing what he's supposed to do, he can look pretty good. Because you got the weapons, you got the tight ends, you got the receivers, you got the running backs. Like you can, if you're just a game manager, and the defense might be a different question, but it's just like that might be a possibility if Caleb continues to not play on script, which is what I think Ben wants him to do. So the thing is, he has the talent to do it, but I think he still just likes the freestyle, which I don't know, like young quarterbacks, and I think too, a lot of the quarterbacks who do that are the more talented ones. Like obviously Tyson or whoever else, they can't play off script because they're not talented enough to do it. So they got to kind of do it. So it just depends. Like I said, it is, I posed that question because it's two teams that we probably didn't think it was going to be looking as bad as they are, but it's early. Like you said, they could be week 7 and they're both 3-2, 4-2.
Remember, Bears were 4-2 last year to start the season. Anything can happen, man. One game, I'm telling you, it's so early. Look at the Saints were 2-0 last year. We talked about the Colts.
Like you said, you could relate it to fantasy and like NFL.
Sure.
You don't want to just don't go down 0-3. If you can stay out of 0-3,
Gibbs after week 2,
like fleece of the century. But if you could just stay away from 0-3, because 0-4 you're done. It's a wrap. But like just get out of 0-3. So hopefully both of these teams will pick up their dubs this next coming week and they can kind of get back to square one. So we will see. But going into our next topic, I kind of want to give some praise to the teams that are 2-0. Now, I will say all these teams that are 2-0 are not created equal. So I wanted to get the guys, like ideas of which 2-0 team has impressed them the most. And Stu, you can go ahead and start this one.
For me, I got to start with the divisional rival of the Kansas City Chiefs, and that's the Chargers right now. Because this is a team right now, we knew they were going to be pretty good this year, but I think all our expectations was it was going to be a rushing attack.
Yeah.
No, it's Herbert's arm. Like they're unlocking Herbert, and he's producing multiple receiver value. Right, like Keenan Allen has a ridiculous resurgence. Like Keenan Allen kind of looks like prime Keenan Allen based on production wise. Like this guy goes from the Bears. So Loki had a pretty good year last year, but he goes to the Chargers and he's back at home with Herbie and him. They just got to have great chemistry together. And producing at a level, I believe there's a couple tutties right now at the start of the season right now. So Keenan Allen has been extremely, extremely productive for a team where, like last year, was just the rookie Lad McConkey took the receiver 1 position, and now they're getting some more help right now. And
come on, say his name.
John, what the? This guy with another 60-yard bomb. I'm like, holy moly! He's throwing bombs right, like. Justin Herbert last year was kind of reserved to like a game manager where he wasn't being that aggressive. Kind of like the I call it the Jalen Hurts system where just beat with your run game, defense, like beat it to the ground, control time of possession. But Justin Herbert has been kind of unlocked of being the whole the rookie Justin Herbert that we all remember, where this guy came in his rookie year and he came in and probably had the greatest rookie quarterback season outside of if you compare now, it's probably since Jaden Daniels. Like that was an all-time rookie.
Or CJ.
Yeah. But I would give Herbert still the edge over CJ. But he had one of the greatest rookie quarterback seasons, and he just fits the prototype: big, strong, athletic, tough. And this guy is absolutely showing why he's that potential that we all saw in the last couple of years, where kind of been reserved, and we always thought this guy's so talented, but. Last year was production wasn't that elite. Obviously, the playoff performance wasn't that good when he made the playoffs. So, this is a prove-it year where you have a real head coach in Harbaugh, and all this guy does is make the playoffs and win football games. And he even said like he want to get this guy into the Hall of Fame. Like this is what the coach said. Like again, the coach that believes in you that much, that has a defensive identity that they have. As far as the rushing tech, I'm kind of surprised by like right now Hampton's a guy I was pretty high on, but obviously the offense they lost Slater, like the offensive lineman, so maybe the rushing attack isn't as effective without their freaking all-pro linemen. But like they getting pretty much nothing from Hampton and Najee Harris right now. Like the rushing game is kind of like nothing. Like it's not really a threat right now. It's like Herbert with his arms right now. So that would be good to see future if they could develop their rushing attack, because they're kind of one-sided. Like they're an aerial assault team right now, which is something that I did not predict coming into the year. But Justin Herbert is showing us why like this guy is legit. This guy is probably one of the top 5 talented most quarterbacks in the NFL. Obviously, you need to get some accolades right now. But with this franchise and coach right now and the amount of receiver weapon, like Quentin Johnson keeps catching deep bombs, and we all know how good Lamb McConkey. He's not putting up great numbers, but he's just a very, very good receiver right now. Like he only had 5 catches, but he had like five targets. So like this dude's been catching everything for him. So having that 3 like legit, like really, really good receivers on the outside. We'll see how the rushing game goes, but obviously the win against the Chiefs was very, very impressive. Like the Raiders win, like that's kind of whatever, because I was never the biggest Geno Smith fan, and that offensive line, like Genty can't really do anything. So them beating on the Raiders, I'm not too impressed by that, but shout out to the Chargers because they're, as he's mentioned, they are in control of the division.
Yeah.
Because if you go win this division, you got the time, you beat the Chiefs already, like you couldn't ask for a better start. You couldn't have asked for a better start for this team, and you couldn't have asked for a worse start for the Kansas City Chiefs right now. So the Chargers in that position to win the division this year. I hope they secure a good playoff spot this year.
I'd be curious to say, actually, I've never thought about this, but when it comes to divisional games played internationally, isn't that a huge advantage for who ends up actually getting the home game?
Yeah.
Who has the Chargers-Chiefs home game in the U.S.? That's what I'd be curious to know. If it's in Kansas City, gotta love the NFL, man. It's that it just crossed my mind because I was like, Brazil.
Would be shocked.
In Brazil, but whatever.
Yeah.
No, man, I agree. I was going to say the Chargers. Just a couple of things to add on there. Zoo, you pointed out McConkey. Keenan Allen is stealing because that was his position before Ladd got there, right? Kind of the slot guy.
Yeah.
Very much on like the out routes in the red zone too, like he scored last night. I think Ladd will be fine. He might be a solid buy low candidate for fantasy.
Because he's like really good. Like he's a really good player, but they just got a lot of receivers to feed right now.
Exactly. Yeah, and then people are forgetting they also drafted Sean, second round Trey Harris. It might have been third round, but I mean he's barely even seen the field. He's barely even seen the field because of Quentin Johnson got backed into a corner, and now he's looking like the first round pick that he was meant to be. He's single-handedly saving my dynasty along with Javonte Williams. Some of my dart throws from last year, finally paying off. But yeah, man, the other thing that I found funny and ironic is that Najee Harris actually had a better, not great, but he outperformed. He didn't do much, but he actually did more with less than Omari and Hampton did. So I think it's just Hampton getting used to the timing of the league, the vision, the speed of the game as well. So Greg Roman he's a good offensive coordinator. I think he'll eventually get him going. I just hope they don't give him the Bijan Arthur Smith treatment, man, his rookie year, where they just don't even give him the ball. And we see, Arthur Smith is gone from Atlanta, and you see what Bijan's doing now. So hopefully they don't treat him like that. I think they'll get him more on track because they also know that if their passing game looks this good with a non-existent rush off attack, imagine when they can start running legitimate play action that defenses have to bite on, truly. So I know it's early, man, but I would not be surprised if the Chargers take down the Chiefs for the division. I know I said the Broncos. I think they could be in this discussion too. This is a 3-team race, with the Broncos probably being in third at this moment. But yeah, man, Chargers have been damn impressive. And defensively, we didn't even talk about that. Their secondary is ridiculous. I mean, we talk about Derwin James, but man, their corners, I know once again it was the Raiders, but they picked apart Geno Smith, who was throwing pretty damn well in week 1 against the Patriots.
300-plus yards.
Yeah, so, for him, I know he was forcing some throws to Deonta Thornton, getting a lot of deep throw there, Zoo, but I've also just been impressed there. Khalil Mack being out, that injury looked gruesome. It was good to see him on the sideline, but I'm not sure if they've announced a timetable, but he might be out for the season. So yeah, I mean the other 2-0 team that I've been impressed with, I mentioned it last week, was the Colts, man. I mean, it is what it is. A Broncos team that I was pretty high on this year. They're a damn good football team, a playoff team from last year. And I know Bo Nix, he had a very good game, and he made one mistake at the end that really cost him. Colts did kind of, they got a little zoo fantasy football luck there, man, getting that, what was it, leverage penalty or whatever at the end of the game. It wasn't that great. They got to retry and add on 15 yards to make it closer. It was a 60-yard attempt made into a 45-yarder. But Daniel Jones, man, this team, I hate to say it, but they might win this division.
Yeah, it's a bad division.
It's a
really bad division. Like, I had it as open because I went with the Jaguars, but they don't look good either. Like, we saw Texans last night. They don't look the greatest either. So it's up for grabs right now.
It is up for grabs. And, if Daniel Jones keeps playing it, this might be one of the more complete offenses overall that we've seen this Colts team have in a long time. I mean, we know what Jonathan Taylor is. He's looking like a stud, RB1. Yep. Daniel Jones looking like mini, white boy Jalen Hurts pretty much.
Hurts. Yep.
And then I really like the weapons on the outside. Zoo, you already shouted out Tyler Warren. He's a monster. I think we're also not giving enough credit to Steichen. Without Richardson throwing the ball, his offense is looking pure. I don't know how many times I've seen Tyler Warren run that same damn route where he rolls out to the left, Daniel Jones on the bootleg, and he's just got a wide open throw. Man, he catches like 6 of those a game, and that's how he gets 60 points, 60 yards. So, I do think there are going to be some teams that figure them out a little bit, the better defensive teams. I was surprised they picked apart the Broncos like they did. But then they got guys like Alec Pierce making good plays on the field. Michael Pittman is always kind of a middle of the field guy as well, eating up space in those slant routes or short posts. And then Josh Downs, kind of that underneath guy. I really like this offense. I hate to say it, but this offense is fantasy viable. And I think a lot of people were very nervous about everyone outside of Jonathan Taylor and maybe Tyler Warren. You were probably going to take him as your tight end too in fantasy. This team is legit, and they have a division that is theirs for the taking. I mean, they have pretty much, I would say, 4 close to guaranteed wins against the Jaguars and the Titans, respectively. The only one is the Texans. Their defense can hold up. I could see them splitting against the Texans eventually. But, man, I've been impressed with this team. And their defense has looked pretty damn good, too. Maybe it's the new ownership. Maybe it's the ownership change. I hate to see it. And they're honoring Jim Irsay, man. The Pacers almost did it. They almost did it for Jim back in the finals, man. But maybe it's the Colts turn this year. Not to win the Super Bowl, but to be irrelevant for franchise once again.
Yeah, man. Year of Indiana. Or Indianapolis, not Indiana. But yeah, that could be a thing. And like I said, I agree with you on the Colts. Steichen, who was the coming off the Philadelphia tree with I just forgot the name of the head coach, acting crazy. Sirianni coming off that tree is like he kind of had a lot of street cred with like how he was going to be running his offense around the league, and he needed the guy. And obviously, when he drafted, or not he, but the GM, when they drafted Anthony Richardson, they kind of envisioned what Daniel Jones was doing. So, like you said, but the one thing I'm learning, at least the last 2, maybe 3 years, with a lot of these quarterbacks, is just like maybe different situations and coaching styles will bring the best out of them. So it kind of feels like if a rookie does come in and doesn't do well, I'm not just gonna I say he's done. Like I think sometimes if they get, because even looking at someone like Sam Darnold, he got multiple opportunities, and he finally got the right fit, was able to cash out, and now we'll see what he does in Seattle. But that's why with AR, man, I think he needs to get into another situation where he maybe has a coach who's ready to, someone like a Kevin O'Connell, especially if JJ McCarthy can't stay healthy because he's been injured a lot early in his year. So him as a backup somewhere else. But I agree with you on with the Colts. I want to say that the Chargers was mine too, but I also was watching last night the Bucks and the Texans, and I was just like, I think I might be too low on the Bucks. I think it's a possible way they could get to an NFC Championship game, and it's mainly because of Baker and Emeka.
He's obviously a baller.
But like Baker now,
at 4th down,
obviously Mike. With Mike, what you get with him. I'm not worried about him. Emeka being the, I guess you would say, spark plug in terms of just like you draft the best overall player. And then also you got Bucky and other backs. Like they kind of feel like they're going to be the sleeper team where they probably got 11 wins and everybody's like, let's talk about the Eagles, talk about the Rams. But it's like, the Bucks, they could potentially go on the road and scare some people. And I think Baker will be huge component of that because I think he's now reaching the level of, okay, he's hovering around the top 15 level, obviously, but now I think how he's playing, if he continues, he'll be a top 10 guy. I think he could.
I think he's already a top 10 guy.
I think he is.
Yeah, through 2 weeks. Like I said, I want to still give it time, but I think he's trending that way for sure. But with Omega now, and now you got Mike, it's a possibility he could flirt with like 7-6 if he's hitting on all cylinders with those two guys. Because it kind of is giving it's like a Walmart, like I don't know what's a higher brand than Walmart, but it's like a Walmart version of like what Joe, T, and Jamar are. Like Omega could be his, I guess Jamar, like the scaled down version, and then Mike obviously would be compared to T. And like I say, Joe's obviously a better quarterback, but like Baker's kind of got a lot of he's not like the super athlete, but he's got a lot of game, like how Joe could bust off a 40-yard run. Baker could do that. Competitiveness. I'm starting to feel like they could be not just they're a playoff team and they go out in the divisional round. Like I think they can make it to an NFC Championship game because they're super talented and their defense is just always going to be there. That's the thing with Todd Bowles. Their defense will never just be like, oh, their defense is trash. Their defense is going to come to play. So Emeka having this resurgence is really, I made it about Baker, but it's kind of mainly Emeka because having that dynamic receiver is just going to change everything for everyone on the offense. Yep. So I think they're a 2-0 team where down the road it's like, oh, the Bucs obviously they're winning the NFC South, but like, why are we not talking about him with the Rams or why are we not talking about them with the Eagles? So I think they have that potential. And this is a super long shot, just shot in the dark. But if the Bengals sign like a real quarterback, like a decent one, Jameis would be a good example. If they sign Jameis, I think they have a chance to get into the playoffs and just get there. Like they're not winning the playoffs, but like I think they have a chance because I watched the end of the game. Like their defense just started playing better, and I think maybe it's because they knew Joe was hurt. But if they could just, the defense hadn't played well for the first few games, but if they could just channel that little section that I saw, I was like, the defense looked viable. And now that Joe's not coming back, you can play to that standard how you're supposed to play. They can make the playoffs because dude, and I know Chase Brown's kind of been disappointing, but like Jamar kind of reminded us after that, like he's still a dude. T's there. Like they just need to get Jake Browning's whatever. Maybe he's the dude, and I'm skipping over him. But if they get like a Jameis or just I don't know what other backups they have, but like just whoever, they could be scrappy. I think they could be scrappy because there's just too much talent on that offense to where I think Chase Brown's gonna kick up, and then I think whoever is their starter will be able to just not be Joe, but I think they could be good enough. But that's like a ultra dark.
I gotta put a caveat though, because that Jacksonville Jaguars team,
I know
they look actually awful, like absolutely like Trevor Lawrence. I'm trying to give this guy the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, okay, this is your opportunity to redeem yourself. Even against the Bengals defense, he throws 2 interceptions, man. He got him like shooing off his head coach. His head coach is yelling at him, not showing great leadership, making bad decisions. And I don't understand, like Brian Thomas Jr., you remember that drop pass in the red zone? Like
couple.
He had a couple, like he had some targets. He couldn't corral it. Like I know they say he had like a wrist injury, but I'm not going to give him that excuse for not existing after a dynamic rookie year where he had 1,400 yards as a rookie. You have expectations of this guy is an elite receiver, and you see his pals in LSU and Malik Neighbors dropping ridiculous games. And I see watching that game against a Bengals defense where this is your opportunity to show out, and he had an absolute dud. And like Hunter, kind of like this guy's the top 2 pick, and he kind of just. He's just kind of a guy right now. He's not really, like he's just kind of a guy out there right now where I'm like, he's not really producing right now either. Like the only guy is really outperforming expectations. Travis Etienne, where he's averaging 5+ yards carry and showing a lot of juice right there. And Tootin came in and showed some juice too, like as a receiving back, smaller back out there. So those guys have been extremely effective. But Trevor Lawrence, 24 for 42. Like 24, that's just terrible. I'm sorry, 271, QBR of 34, like the 2 interceptions. Like Trevor Lawrence, man, I'm trying to give you. He's got weapons. He's got a good because I think the coach is actually pretty good. I think Liam Cohen's pretty good.
Sounds like you're talking about the Bears right now. Zoo.
I know,
but he's had more years.
Watching the Jaguars is watching T-Law is like watching Caleb with that team right now.
But he's
Like,
got a lot more experience.
Yeah, exactly. I'm watching these two teams right now. I'm like, they should be better than what they are right now. Because on paper, I think they're pretty good teams. But on the field right now, I know it's only been 2 weeks, but man, I got a lot of fear in the Jaguars right now because Trevor Lawrence right now hasn't really shown me anything in these first 2 weeks.
He is the beneficiary of. He's the beneficiary of being a number 1 pick. Yep. He's just keep getting the longer road.
Yeah.
And it's kind of now it's just we have. And I think it really saved him, which is to his credit, is that playoff run.
Exactly.
Like that one year when he got to the playoffs, and it's just kind of that gave him like a 2-year extension where it's like, okay, these next 2 years he's just going to be able to do whatever. But it's kind of trending towards just because it's not devoid of talent. You got Brian Thomas, you got Brenton Strange, you got Travis Etienne, like you got weapons. You got Travis Hunter. Like it's not for a lack of effort from the front office. So. I mean, you give a lot of other quarterbacks in this league those weapons, they're probably doing way better. So, yeah, it's Trevor. Obviously this year, because Liam Cohen's a first-year coach, if he doesn't get it done, I'm sure Liam's going to be in a situation where he can draft a guy that he wants. So, I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see with Trevor. But, yeah, I think
Bengals will be interesting to watch. Especially for fantasy.
Yeah. For 2-0, it's one of the uglier 2-0. This is one of the uglier 2-0 teams in the NFL. Like we know what happened with the Browns. Like they were lucky to get that win, and obviously,
like I'm not
the Jaguars, they're lucky to get this win too. Like they had 3 picks, and they were able to survive it. Like 3 interceptions.
I don't see them winning the division at all or competing, but I think they can maybe. I didn't even think about James, but if they got James, I think I know he's erratic, but it's like with those weapons, fantasy wise, that's a plus, and I think on the field, just. They could maybe make it work. But that, like I said, that's a long shot dart throw. And out of the 2-0 teams, they definitely are down at the bottom. So
Cardinals.
I kind of say Arizona too is kind of
they're like squeak by against the Panthers at the end.
I watched that game.
They were dominating, but
Saints and the Panthers, man, they get start off easy.
That's true
for sure. But yeah, so we'll see how those 2-0 teams start. And like I said, it's not about how you start, it's how you finish. So getting into our best bets, I guess, P, you can start us off.
Tough week, man. If you the Drake May play was really nice, I will say. That paid off great. I do wish I would have taken him as more QB2 action, right? And I think in a lot of fantasy leagues. But man, this week there's some juicy matchups, but unfortunately, Jalen and Lamar, man, they're both not in this slate. They're playing Monday or Thursday night, right? I believe against the Dolphins.
Yeah, they're playing the Monday night game.
Right, but the Bills and the
Bills are Thursday. Yep.
Yeah, so everybody knows I always do just the Sunday afternoons slate. You can play a full Thursday to Monday, all day Sunday. There's other options. So if you want to get one of those 2 guys in there, by all means, do it. Pay up. You just need a 40 piece from them to get a solid ROI. Pretty much, you just need to 4xing their salary and equating that to points is considered to be an outperformance, and that's how you pretty much win these major contests. But man, we were talking about it early. Cowboys and Bears, man, this could be an absolute feast fest for fantasy purposes. You could go one of 2 ways. You could go a Caleb and Rome stack. Look what Russell Wilson just did. I know he's a great deep ball threat, and that's fine. But the Giants, as much as I was applauding them, I'm more on their defensive side and Malik Neighbors. Really the only guys that I like on the Giants. But they looked like an absolute playoff team that was putting up, almost damn near 40 points and would have won the game if they didn't have the greatest kicker in the last 5 years.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Brandon Aubrey is a special talent.
He's different.
Was like 64 to that's ridiculous.
And it was in Dallas, right? So that would have been a huge win, especially for the division too, if the Giants had been able to pull it off.
Yeah.
So, man, you could go the CD Dak Prescott route. You could put George Pickens in there. I also like Jake Ferguson as a play. I think you can plug and play with bringing it back. So whichever stack you decide, bring back someone or 2 from the opposite team. For me, I tend to lean more on the Caleb and Rome just because they're probably going to be down. They're going to be chucking the ball. But I think it's not like a Lions blowout where they're going to sit in the fourth quarter. They'll probably be a little bit closer just because of the Cowboys' defensive woes at times. And then you just bring it back, man. Give me Javonte Williams against this Bears. Yeah, that is feast.
RB1 right now.
RB1.
RB2 overall in all of fantasy.
Exactly. Insane. Small sample size, but I don't think it's getting much smaller after this game. Man.
Yeah, after this game, he might get multiple touchdowns.
So, yeah, I mean, but I think the other thing is, man, I love Bijan this week. Another great game script against the Carolina Panthers. I think you only are able to fit Bijan in with Javonte if you decide to go with the cheaper Cowboys bring back, probably a Pickens or a Ferguson compared to bringing in CD as well, unless you want to be starting a bunch of Malik Washingtons at the rest of your positions. No hate there. He had a nice punt return, but 9 points ain't going to get you a lot of money. So Bijan's another guy that I really like this week. Bucky Irving, if you want to stay up with expensive running backs against the Jets, who, man, they've gotten feasted on, especially in the running game the last few weeks, whether it be Jalen Warren or then James Cook with an unbelievable touchdown run for his first touchdown of the game last week. And then your boy, you just traded for Jaden Daniels, Zoo. And, little knee sprain potentially day-to-day, whatever. Either way, man, I like Debo this week against the Raiders. I think whoever starts at quarterback, once again, got a great rapport already with Jaden Daniels. He's actually more expensive than Terry McLaurin now, so you guys know.
Yeah, Debo's been – he had some, big plays. His yak ability, he looks pretty healthy right now. Debo's always been, this guy stays healthy, and he looks very healthy right now.
And, he just needed to not be on my fantasy team to do that. So, I'm willing
change of scenery does wonders sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah. And he looks good. So, I do like Debo as kind of a cheap play. I'm also kind of fine playing Pearsall or Jennings. Mac Jones proved he was actually one of the winning quarterbacks if you started him last week. Always go with the Flyers with kind of random quarterback. Like Carson Wentz is probably going to be $4,800 this week if you want to start him. At your own risk. At your own risk, that's fine, but it paid off for Mac Jones. He dropped a nice, cute 20 piece, but at that rate, it's 4x his salary, right? So you can afford a lot of the studs. So, and then the last guy, I got to shout this guy out because he's on a dismal franchise. This guy has been one of the biggest target hogs at his position, and honestly, overall, and that's Juwan Johnson, man. I hate to say it,
but
producing.
He might be taking over Hunter Henry for the best waiver wire ad. Hunter Henry's been that way for years. Well, I think this year it's going to be Juwan Johnson, man. He's been a red zone beast, and not only that, but he's at least getting 8 targets a game. I know it's only 2 games, but Rattler hasn't been turning the ball over that much. He's been playing relatively clean, and a guy that's been benefiting from that has been Rashid Shaheed and mostly Juwan Johnson. So he's also only $3,900, way cheaper than a Tyler Warren, etc. If you want value for a similar point return, I love Johnson this week as well.
Okay, I like that. And for me personally, last week, as I mentioned, the New England Patriots took care of business against the lowly Dolphins. The Dolphins did come back. I don't know if you guys watched that game, but that red zone was going crazy with the punt return touchdown and the punt return touchdown. That was actually a very entertaining game, back and forth. A lot of explosiveness. Devon A-Chain's still awesome. Drake May showing that he could do something, especially against this lowly Miami Dolphins defense, and he got it done for his team.
And the Dolphins wide receivers actually did something.
Oh, yeah. Jalen Waddle scored,
Tyreek at 100.
He got a lot of yards. Tua actually played all right. Played all right, but
they needed that.
They definitely needed that, but still a team that's not that impressive right now. So Drake May got it done for me. He smashed the money line. They were the underdogs that game. So shout out to Drake May for getting it done. Now for me, this is a line that's actually quite shocking to me. Just quite shocking. I'm looking at this line. I'm like, the Chicago Bears are favored. I know they're at home. So obviously they're giving it, but they're -1.5. Give me the Cowboys. Are you kidding me? I am smashing the Cowboys. Screw the spread. I give me the alternate spread, 2.5. The Cowboys by a field goal over the Chicago Bears defense right now, because they're projecting this over 49.5 right now. So they're expecting high octane offense, right? Which offense am I going to pick? I'm going to pick the Dallas Cowboys offense.
As you
Dak
should.
Prescott, he's been playing extremely well. Even against the Eagles, his numbers weren't that good. He's making good decisions, not turning the ball over. Dak Prescott looks very, very good this year, especially with the weapons right now. I know CeeDee Lamb first week drives some drop balls, but CeeDee Lamb is still, I would say, a top 5 receiver right now. His ability to create space is pretty rare for a guy like that, because that is an ability where getting separation when they put their best corner on him. CeeDee Lamb's that dude, and George Pickens on the other side. He finally got into the end zone last week, so him on the other side is a perfect compliment to CeeDee Lamb. Your boy Ferguson, this offense, and Javonte Williams with a comeback season right now. This guy had massive expectations as a rookie coming in, but got derailed by injuries. a couple of injured seasons, but now he's shown with this Dallas Cowboys right now, they give him full opportunity right now. Like he's the full workhorse back. I know Miles Sanders swooped in, got a touchdown, but this is Javonte Williams' RB room right now, and he looks good. Not only his numbers are like, oh, he's getting like rushing yards and touchdowns, but him as a pass catching back shows some explosive ability. I was like, Javonte Williams looks like he's a really, really good player. Like, I'm not going to say great right now, but he's off to a fantastic start right now. So give me those Cowboys weapons over the Chicago Bears weapons right now, especially if it's going to be in a shootout. I can see Caleb having 300 yards. Obviously, depending on the game script, he's going to be chucking it. DeAndre Swift, I've never been the biggest fan of him, so I feel like going to rely more on the pass. I feel like the pacing of the game is just extremely high in octane. In a shootout, as you mentioned, they got Brandon Aubrey. Get him the 64 yards, and they get this guy shooting field goals with confidence because they
not in the
dome.
I will say,
I don't care where. Brandon Aubrey's that dude.
It's gonna rain.
Just ran the ball. They're like, yo, just run for an extra yard. We're good. We're giving it Brandon Aubrey 64-yarder. That is ridiculous.
Two things about that. You know, Soldier Field's footing. First of all, horrible. Some of the worst field because it's true grass. It's one of the only ones that is still like completely true grass. It's supposed to rain on Sunday. I didn't notice that. So I do think that is why they're favoring the Bears. Obviously, it's still technically not a favoring. It is actually in favor of the Broncos, the Cowboys, because of the home field, right? They're not giving them home field.
Yeah. Minus 1.5. They give like 2.5 for home field.
They're giving it 55-45 to the Cowboys, right? Pretty much. But, that Dak loves the dome, man. He's not Tua. He's not warm weather Tua, man. So I am interested to see. I didn't know it was going to rain when I was talking about that offense being a shootout. Under 49.5 could be a very sneaky bet this week.
That is pretty high scoring. I saw that was like the highest over-under outside of the Lions-Ravens. So outside of that game where that's just offensive weapons galore.
Exactly.
That's the highest scoring game this weekend.
I'm curious to see if I'll even do a major. I'm going to get closer to the game and see how that weather is going to be before putting all my chips in on that game because it could end up being kind of a grind fest, especially with a field that also does not do well in bad weather. So I am curious. So that was it brought to my attention when you said Brandon Aubrey because he ain't kicking in AT&T Stadium this week, man. I don't know if he can hit a 64-yarder in wind and rain, but maybe he can.
But I know he'll hit 50-yarder because this dude from 50 yards shoots 89%. 50 plus.
Steve Nash from the free throw line.
Like that is ridiculous. He's shooting 88+% from 50 plus yards.
Crazy.
That's insane.
He is actually this guy's special. Like Justin Tucker with his scandal and disgrace leaves. The up and coming baton is passed to Brandon Aubrey because I think this guy has the throne as the best kicker in the NFL.
Absolutely.
He did against the Giants, that was just. I was like, I've never been so blown away by a kicker. I was like, oh my God, I'm getting hyped by a field goal. And I got so excited, I forgot I was playing against Brandon Aubrey. Got 23 points against me. I'm like, Jesus Christ, it's the leading scorer of our matchup right now. But Brandon Aubrey is phenomenal. Absolutely.
Yeah. No, I like the pick. I mean, I don't think the Bears win this game, but the conditions are going to be interesting.
That did shock me.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I didn't think about the weather component and maybe picking the under, but that might be a nice little add-on to a parlay or just singled off whatever you want to do. But last week for me, just trusting Justin Fields and the Jets. Shouldn't have did it. The Bills came in focus. James Cook game. Josh Allen didn't have to do much.
He didn't have to do
Got burned on that one. And I felt like I should have did a little bit more research because the Falcons and Vikings hit. It smashed on that one. I think they beat them 22-6. I know JJ got hurt, but that was a good bet on my side, so I split that one. But going into this week, I was looking at spreads, and it's a lot of them I did not like. This was since we've been starting it, I didn't like a lot of these spreads this week, so I was just going through. And one that intrigued me was I want to say, was that a division game last year? Rams versus Eagles. Was that divisional playoff game?
That was the NFC Championship game.
Oh, was it NFC Championship game? So kind of looking at that. I see that the Rams are going back to the Eagles. They might have a little bit of vengeance on their mind. I think it's plus 3.5. I like the Rams there. I just think they're going to be more motivated and quiet is kept. As much as I like the Eagles, they're kind of giving a little bit of the Chiefs vibes in terms of they got a couple of their games have been close calls this year. It hasn't been like they've been dominating. And it kind of feels a little bit of like when they went to the Super Bowl the year they lost and that next year when it was just kind of like they were kind of having close calls and they kind of just didn't look like they were in sync. Maybe they put it together against this one, but I think Stafford and the boys with Devontae coming in now is another weapon. They might have something for them. So I think I like them on that plus 3.5. I'm pretty sure I got them. Well, I actually got the money line, so it's plus 148 for that one. And I'm trying to decide because I'm doing the 2-leg parlay. Man, we're just talking about the Chiefs, and I'm looking to see the plus 5.5. They're at New York. I don't know, man. Weapons. I'm looking at it this way. I would never pick that money line. I'm staying away from that, even though it's really juicy. But like plus 5.5. If I look at it, I'm looking right now. It's plus 5.5 minus 104, or you can go choose the under at minus 105. Like if I were to choose the under instead and make it plus 384 for the ticket, so Rams money line under 44.5 minus 105. That means the 2-leg parlay would be plus 384. But then if I did plus 5.5, it'd be plus 386. So either way, I probably would want to maybe lean a plus the under just because the two defenses I think are going to maybe keep the quarterbacks in check. So that would probably be the way to go. So you're losing 2 points. But if you want to be bold and just be like, maybe the Chiefs are like on the road. It's New York. It's the defense. They can get after Patrick. Because like you said, I think him running a lot. If I was Patrick, I would not do that. I would just get the ball out. And if the receiver catches, he doesn't. Or if the receiver's not on time, I'll do whatever. Because I don't know if running against Brian Burns or running against Derek Lawrence or Dexter Lawrence or any of those guys, even Abdul Carter, is the smartest thing because they can keep up with it. So I don't know if he should be doing that. So I think I would probably lean towards taking the under because I understand that the Giants went off against the Cowboys, but I kind of am starting to think the Cowboys defense is not good at all. So I think that's more of an anomaly. Now that did showcase that they have it in there with Malik Neighbors going crazy and Russ Doyle. But and Wandale too, like it does speak to like Russ still is a like his deep ball just sideline throws. He's just that'll never go away. Like he'll still be able to do that when he's 55. Like he's just that is his repertoire. He's one of the best at that. So I think that kind of made me feel like I think the Giants are scrappy enough to where I don't think they would do that type of offensive performance against the Chiefs, but I do think they could keep it close. So that's why I was thinking about the plus 5.5. But I think either way, if you go on that plus 5.5 with them, or if you do the under 45.5 for both teams, I think that's a pretty good odd for a 2-leg. Like I said, I think the most confident I feel in is the Rams because I think the Rams are going to want that game way more than the Eagles.
Wow.
Because plus 3.5
actually should have won that game last year. I'll say it. They should have won that game last year.
Like I know it's the champs and it's on the road, so like
I think it's on the road too. Like on the road in Philly.
I think the Eagles haven't like. I love.
You almost have it in a pick 'em though. They're only minus 3.5.
I like the Eagles, but I just think it's just going to be motivation, and some could say, well, they're motivated to keep their their whatever they beat them last year, they're motivated for that. But I don't know. I mean, the only other one I was looking at was because you had brought him up about Spencer with Juwan Johnson. Like Spencer's look pretty decent. Like and they're plus 7 on the road against the Seahawks. I don't think the Seahawks are great. Like the only thing you're going to tell me is their defense.
That's a big spread.
Plus 7. Now, see, listen, last week I got burned with the big spread and the freaking Jets in Buffalo. I just thought,
that's Josh Allen, though.
The defense but Josh Allen doesn't think Josh Allen didn't do anything. And it's just like I had him on my team.
It's the threat.
It's just the threat of it. And then he was out for a little bit because I think he hit his nose or whatever. So I was like, the Jets have a chance, but no.
Gave me a scare.
They fooled me.
Mitch Trubisky was in for a possession.
And made a good pass.
Made a great throw.
It was a great pass.
Yeah. He was 1 for 1 for 32 yards.
That was kind of good.
There's something going on with these backups, man. It's just like it's the systems. All these backups look.
Trubisky to Cincy.
I've never seen so many competent backups in my life.
Trubisky
there used to be an era with it feels like it used to be an era with the backups. If you brought them in, it's just like okay, the season's over. But now they can win 2 to 3 games. So
hold it over.
But that's the only other one I was looking at. If I do that really quickly, if I took out the Giants bet and put in New Orleans plus 7, that puts me at 396. And that's strictly because I just am not super confident in the Seahawks like destroying the Saints. I think Spencer has shown at least early that he's competent.
They were competitive against the Niners. Like that was a very, very competitive game where it was a 1-possession game and obviously ended, but they were very competitive with the Niners.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we'll see. But that's how I am with betting this week. Hopefully I can get a little bit of a better odds. I've been splitting a lot of my bets so far, but that's what happens when you do parlays, man. If you're in the 2 to 3, 4 leg, you're normally going to feel like you're going to get, after you win your third one, you're like, the fourth one's going to hit, and then
the lock.
It's the rug pull. It's the rug pull.
The rug pull.
That's how it happens. So hopefully these bets hit this week. Make sure you guys are tuned into the podcast, Tyson Talk _ on Instagram, on TikTok as well, Quantro Knows on YouTube. Make sure you listen to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Give us a 5-star review so we can get into the algorithms. And for me, Zoo, and P. Bush, we are out.